Hey, welcome back to the pod. This is the AiCyber.Land podcast, and we got Shelby, the world's greatest co-host here.
Woo woo!
And we're your eyes and ears for all things AI and cybersecurity, the breakthroughs, the breaches, and everything in between. So, let's get started. Let's get briefed. Shelby, you see anything cool this week?
Yes, and I think it's really exciting. So we've got a new tool that dropped from Bishop Fox. It actually started as a hackathon project. I always love when like Garage Week or hackathon projects become real things. I think it's just so inspiring and just interesting when anyone can have an idea and just make it happen. So that's what this one started as. And basically what this tool does, it's called AIMap. And what it does is it's like an AI infrastructure assessment tool. So basically, when you look at the speed at which AI infrastructure has just exploded, its growth is outpacing the security tools that we would need to assess it. And this is for all of my defenders out there. AIMap is intended to kind of close that gap, give some visibility there. And what they kind of mentioned in their blog post was that they're like, turns out the bad guys already have this capability. We're just kind of putting it out there for us as well. Okay, so let's talk about what it does in a little more detail. It does discovery, or like endpoint discovery, fingerprinting of endpoints. It also assigns a score for each endpoint, a risk score based on a multifaceted formula. And then it tests these exposed AI agent infrastructure pieces for like across the internet. So it's cool because it's actually internet scale. And if it sounds like something else, I'm going to ask you, does it sound like another tool that you've ever heard of? Something that's scanning the whole internet?
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of tools that try to scan the whole internet, right? So, like a Shodan or something like that. Is that
Yes.
kind of like it? Okay.
Yeah,
all right,
exactly.
right
Nailed it. So it's trying to be like kind of like the Shodan, but like more purpose built for AI agent infrastructure, basically. So it is using Shodan because that already exists. So it uses Shodan to find those endpoints, and then it probes each one using nuclei templates. And then it does live HTTP checks on it, kind of checking the protocol, which frameworks it's using, its auth states. Let's see what else. What tools it has access to, which models it's using, and system prompts. It also does protocol-specific, like attack suites, to kind of figure out what kind of tool abuse might happen there, or like model extraction or prompt injection. So those are kind of some of the things that it's doing like live testing for. And then based off of all of those results, it gives you a risk score for that endpoint. So I think it's really cool. Let's talk about which endpoints it's kind of hitting. We're talking about MCP servers, Ollama instances, VLLM and light LLM proxies, LangServe chains, Gradio apps, config UI nodes, and more. I haven't actually dug deeper into what's included in more, but y'all can look for yourselves. So yeah, pretty cool. And then once it has kind of that data that it's looked through, it also has a visualization ability, and very similar to Shodan, it also has search capability to help kind of support threat hunting or executive reporting or incident response, so that you can kind of search by like, who owns this, which geographic location is it in, or search by this protocol or by that, just you can slice and dice it whichever way you need to look at it to help. So it's got like a query language of its own, which should hopefully look somewhat familiar if you're used to Shodan, as well as puts it in a nice little 3D globe for you, so you can just kind of see all those endpoints and let it light up the map.
Better have my pew pew maps, I need the little pew pews. Pew pew.
I know, and I'm so visual. Like I just put it on a map and I'll be happy, So yeah, it's got all those things. If you want to get started, you can find it on Docker. You can do like a local deployment with Docker Compose, and it'll launch a front end, a back end, as well as MongoDB and Redis to help you get started. We'll post a link to the repo so that you can have all those instructions there for getting that set up. There you have it.
Very cool. Well, I run a ton of those services, so maybe I should use this tool this weekend to see if my stuff is actually secure. I've seen a lot of Ollama servers on the internet that are not secured. Yeah, just because it by default it binds to loopback, but I think people go and misconfigure it to bind to 0000.
Oh.
And by default it has no auth on it. So if you bind it to like any IP 000, then anyone can hit it and you don't need auth, and then they can tell it to like use some of its compute or GPUs to answer LLM questions. So I'm entirely convinced there's probably someone out there right now funding their entire startup off of other people's insecure Ollama instances.
It's like, what's that bird that puts its eggs in the other bird's nest?
Oh yeah, dodo, right? Is it dodo bird?
Or was it I don't remember.
No, cuckoo. Cuckoo bird.
Cuckoo. That's
Cuckoo
it.
bird,
Yes,
yeah.
it's like cuckoos. They're like, hey, you want to just run my compute for me? Thanks.
Yeah. It's scary, man. So I feel like there's a lot of stuff out on the internet that could fall in that basket.
True. Yep.
All right. So
What have you seen?
I got something for Shelby. Imagine you hire the 5 best hackers in the world,
Okay.
and you tell them, hack my website. But then, no matter what additional direction you give them, they always just default to using the same tool or the same technique.
All 5 of them?
What's up?
All 5 of them just doing the same thing?
Yeah, all 5 doing the same thing, right? So basically that's what researchers found out was in this new benchmark called Sci-Bias-Bench. They tested Claude, Codex, Gemini, GLM, and Kimi, and they set up like test infrastructure that was vulnerable, and they ran over 600 test sessions to see how they were going to react to different prompts. And it just felt like each model had its like preferred attack route and would just hone in on that kind of like I think I talked about rabbit holes on here before, but they would just rabbit hole in that one thing, and they wouldn't, even if you said like,
just focused, and that's all they know about.
Yeah. Even if you said like, hey, find cross-site scripting, and it's like, nope, I'm just doing SQL injection. That's my go-to, you know? So
Interesting. Huh.
So Claude and Codex both really focused on like information disclosure vulnerabilities, right? Or like IDOR type stuff. Kimi and Gemini really focused on SQL injection. And GLM focused on authentication bypassing. So
Weird. Even if you give it vague instructions like hack this.
yeah, if you give it vague instructions, that's where it focuses. There's even some research in the study where they explicitly told it, like, hey, I want you to go find like SQL injection in this app, or like please focus on cross-site scripting in the app, and then it will just still come back and say like, nope, here you go, here's an SQL injection, right?
Wait, what? Okay. Very
I didn't find any cross-site scripting, even though all these vulnerabilities are in the app, by the way. So it's not. Another thing that was interesting was the apps. Like they had every type of web app vulnerability, at least like the top 10, and one of them was like a insecure file upload to get remote code execution on the server.
Okay.
And yet none of them identified it.
What?
Yeah, because they were just so busy like on their focal points. So maybe don't fire your pen testers yet. You know, there's a little bit of bias in the models today, I guess is the way to put it. Now, I mean, in my experience, I do have a hard time, like, this is, you know, tangential experience, but in my experience, I have a hard time getting the models to give me different results. Like if I'm using like a OpenAI or an Anthropic and I'm trying to like augment testing a web app with it, it typically gives me back the same vuln over and over and over. And so the way that I've overcome that in the past is if I have access to the source code of the app, then I'll say like, find me the worst vulnerability in this file, right? And then it will focus on that file, and then therefore I'll get like a different vulnerability out of the model. And then I'll keep querying it for like every file where I think untrusted inputs are being processed, right? So that's one technique I've used in the past, which they did not mention in this white paper, but that seems to work pretty well for me. But yeah, it's pretty hard to steer them at times, right? So they kind of have a
Interesting
mind of their own. So anyways, just FYI, there's research out there saying although AI agents will find vulnerabilities in your web apps, they will not find all of them.
Yeah, if they're missing stuff like file upload, they're like, I don't know, nothing to see here.
Yeah, nothing to see here. All good. All good. I guess also, yeah, I guess one thing that they were also calling out in the article, which was kind of ironic, was like Codex preferred solution, like vuln is information disclosures, but its success rate at finding information disclosures was like 20%. It was like, which is substantially lower than like some of the other models had like almost 100% success rates on these things. So I don't know. Some of the models, their preferred vulnerability, they're not even that good at finding, right? So
Yeah, that's interesting. I just remember reading a little bit of commentary as different models come out and people are trying to assess which one's better at what. I have seen that comment before of like, well, it really depends on what kind of prompts you're giving them, because there's a difference between find a vuln in my app or like find a buffer overflow on this, this field or something like that. So yeah, I don't really know. It seems like you have found ways to kind of get around it with very narrow focusing. You're bringing its size in to focus on one spot.
yeah, but one thing that I definitely took away from this was like I need to be implementing a multi-model approach when when I'm trying to get AI to test like a web app. Like there's like some projects out there where you can send in one prompt and then it fans it out to a bunch of models and then you can view all the responses. I feel like that type of approach, but applied to the offensive space is like definitely the way to go. I mean, at least 3 of these models, because then they have different specialties, right? But I don't know.
It reminds me of the tool you made for the Jira stuff. You can have the first processor that says what kind of attack are we looking for, and then you give it to the model that's going to focus on that already. That's going to hyperfixate on it. Oh
yeah. You put in the metadata for the ticket, and then that's a good idea. I like that.
Get a dispatcher. And it picks its players, the teammates, based on their focus area.
Now I got to clear my schedule. I got to vibe code this feature now. Yeah.
There you go.
I do like that idea, though. I'm doing that. You know what else I like?
What?
This video. Click that like button.
Thumbs up.
You seen anything fun or cool or fancy?
I had a lot of fun this weekend. So full confession, there was a band that came to the city I was in that I really wanted to see, and I forgot how much I liked this band until after the concert happened. So I was really sad. Turns out you can just wait until they go to another city, drive over there, and still go to the concert. So that's what I did this weekend. I did an unnecessary road trip to see a concert that I really wanted to see. And then, just to keep things a little bit interesting, instead of getting a hotel for the night, I was like, just use the BLM map, find where the Bureau of Land Management has designated spaces that allow overnight camping. And we had a lot of fun. Just slept in the bed of a truck, and it was perfect conditions, let me tell you. I expected it to be a little colder because we're in early May. It was okay. It's tolerable. But the wind just slapped us around all night long. But we survived. So that was fun. If that sounds fun.
I would have never believed you survived, given that you're here doing this pod. It's too bad you don't do it right today, because I feel like it's warmer today than it has been over the last couple of days. So, but that's always the way it goes, I feel like. So that's cool.
I'm just grateful it didn't rain, as long as because we were just open air camping, right? Primitive style, no bathrooms anywhere or anything, but it was good fun. BLM land for the win.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll probably see somebody out there with their laptop working remote. They're like,
That would be so cool. We didn't see anyone there, which is cool. We had the whole place to ourselves.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah. I've been doing more research for our family's trip to Orlando, and I discovered this cool thing, which
the Orlando trip that will be 8 days in 7, right?
That's right. You got to do 8 days in 7. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, watch the Drivers podcast. Because that makes a lot of sense. I guess one of the water parks is snow themed. Like it's like a snow themed water park. It's called Blizzard Beach by Disney, and it looks pretty cool. I was checking it out this weekend. It's even got like a little ski lift to take you to the top of the mountain. So.
Oh.
I'm sure people have been there before, but I have not. So that was the first for me, discovering that. So we're gonna check this out when we're there, and then you will have my after trip report as well. But,
I was gonna say we need you to come back and report on how it was.
Yeah, apparently they have the biggest lazy river in Florida at Blizzard Beach. That's what the internet was saying. So. If you want the longest lazy river in Florida, that's here at Blizzard Beach.
I feel like it depends on how you categorize it, because you could kind of think of the ocean currents as a big lazy river.
Very true.
We're making it a competition. I'm just saying.
Very true. I think that might be a little dangerous in Florida as well. So for multiple reasons. So, oh man.
Yes, I'm not endorsing that. Just get on a little raft and sail around, see how far it pushes you.
You have like a
little west of India, and
you hold up like a blanket so you get the wind, so
there we go. Rig it.
This is all natural over here, all natural. So cool. Well, that's a wrap on today's brief. I know AI and cybersecurity moves really fast, but we're working hard to keep you ahead of that. So until next time, stay safe. See ya.
Bye.